All right, so today we're diving into some fascinating history and taking a closer look at Wangari Maathai,
Yep.
a Kenyan environmental activist who,
Right.
really made waves.
Yeah, absolutely.
You sent in some info about her, and I'm especially intrigued by
Yeah.
this whole Uhuru Park situation.
Why
Sounds like a real showdown.
It really is. And what's so captivating about this story is it's so much bigger than just a park.
Right.
Yeah. It touches on ecofeminism, the lingering impacts of colonialism in Kenya,
Right.
and, the potential of grassroots movements.
Yeah.
It begs the question, can one person truly make a difference
Right.
when going up against these powerful forces?
It's the question for the ages, right?
It is, yeah.
But first, can you, set the scene for us?
Sure.
What made Uhuru Park so crucial?
Okay.
And why was everyone so riled up about this proposed skyscraper?
So Uhuru Park was like Nairobi's version of Central Park.
Okay.
It was often called the city's ecological heart,
Uh-huh.
a green oasis with, trees, open lawns, even a lake.
Ah.
This park was public space, a place where everyone could gather and enjoy some fresh air.
Okay.
But the Kenyan government, along with British investors, had this grand plan to build a massive 60-story skyscraper.
Oh, wow.
Right in the park.
In the park.
Yeah, it would have completely overshadowed the whole area.
Wait, didn't the material mention that President Moi was trying to cultivate this image of being an environmentalist?
Yeah.
That seems a bit contradictory.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just earlier that year, President Moi had made international headlines for publicly burning tons of ivory to protest poaching.
Right.
He was positioning himself as a leader in conservation.
Right.
But then he backs this skyscraper project that threatens to destroy the vital green space.
It really clashes with that environmental image he was projecting.
It does.
So what was Maathai's reaction to all of this? Did she just stand by and watch this unfold?
To understand her response, we need to delve into Maathai's background.
Okay.
She was born in rural Kenya and pursued education at a time when very few girls did.
Wow.
She ultimately earned a PhD, becoming the first woman in East Africa to do it. So she was a trailblazer in many ways.
Yeah, from the information you shared. She also experienced firsthand the negative changes happening to Kenya's landscape.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She saw forests being replaced by plantations.
Right.
Soil erosion becoming a major issue. And people and livestock struggling with malnutrition due to the degraded land.
Right.
These weren't just abstract problems to her.
Right.
They were deeply personal and affected her community directly.
It sounds like her personal experiences really fueled her drive. And you mentioned that she was already active in leadership roles, right?
Yes, she was. She was chairing a university department and was an active member of the National Council of Women of Kenya, or NCWK, a prominent civic organization.
Gotcha.
She definitely wasn't afraid to up and lead.
The source material also hinted at some tensions she experienced as a successful woman in Kenyan society. What were some of the challenges she faced?
That's an important aspect to consider.
Right.
There was this unspoken tension stemming from her being more educated than her husband.
Oh, wow.
She also spoke about joining organizations that were initially dominated by white colonial wives.
Right.
And experiencing the shift in leadership dynamics as more Kenyan women took on prominent roles.
Right.
Navigating those spaces couldn't have been easy.
It sounds like the foundation for the Greenbelt movement was being laid long before it actually began.
You could definitely say that.
This is Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Steve Inskeep with Renee Montaigne. Today, the Nobel Peace Prize will be given to Wangari Maathai of Kenya. She is the first African woman to win the prize for peace and also the first environmentalist.
Yeah.
It was the intersection of her academic expertise
with
her growing awareness of these environmental problems that led to a pivotal moment. During her research trips across Kenya, she was witnessing deforestation, soil erosion, and the detrimental impact these had on water sources. But what truly struck her was how directly these issues were linked to the struggles of rural women.
Oh, wow.
They were the ones walking miles to find firewood.
Oh, gosh.
Struggling to find clean water.
Wow.
and facing food insecurity.
Right.
It was in this context that she had this truly profound realization.
Yeah.
Why not plant trees?
That's such a simple yet brilliant solution.
It seems so obvious in hindsight.
It does, right?
Yeah.
What was the Greenbelt movement's mission?
Okay.
And what approach did they take?
So reforestation was the core mission.
Okay.
But it wasn't about just randomly planting trees.
Right.
It was about empowering women and addressing their basic needs.
Okay.
Maathai understood that planting trees could offer a multifaceted solution.
Right.
They could provide fuel, generate income, and help restore the environment.
Wow.
It was a holistic approach that tackled numerous problems at once.
This brings us to a concept mentioned in the material, ecofeminism. I have to admit, it's not a term I'm completely familiar with.
Sure.
Did you break it down for us?
Ecofeminism recognizes the interconnectedness between the oppression of women and the exploitation of nature.
Right.
They both stem from patriarchal systems that prioritize domination and control.
Right.
The core idea is that women, because of their roles in society, are often the first to notice and be impacted by environmental problems.
What are some examples of how this played out, both in Kenya and maybe elsewhere?
Think about those Kenyan women we just discussed.
Yeah.
They were the ones dealing with the direct consequences of deforestation, walking miles for firewood, struggling to access clean water, and watching their children face hunger.
Wow.
They were on the front lines of this environmental crisis.
Yeah.
And it's not a phenomenon limited to Kenya.
Right.
A powerful example from the U.S. is the Love Canal tragedy.
Okay.
In that case, it was housewives turned activists who uncovered a toxic waste disaster.
Wow.
And fought to be taken seriously.
Right.
Initially, they were dismissed as hysterical.
Oh, wow.
Despite their children falling ill.
Those are really striking examples. So here we have Maathai leading this movement, advocating for the environment and women's rights.
Right.
But what about her personal life?
Well,
did her activism come at a personal cost?
It absolutely did.
Okay.
This is where we see the profound sacrifices she made. Her outspokenness created real tension in her marriage.
Right.
It ultimately led to her husband leaving her.
Wow.
And he blamed her education, her strength, and her success.
Wow. He blamed her success.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I know.
What kind of pressure was she facing from society at that time?
Remember, this was the late 1970s.
Yeah.
Even though it seems unbelievable now.
Yeah.
These were the realities she faced.
Yeah.
And it didn't stop there.
Oh, no.
The divorce trial was incredibly public and humiliating.
Oh, gosh.
She was accused of adultery and cruelty.
Wow.
Accusations she vehemently denied.
Wow.
She was even sentenced to jail for contempt of court after criticizing the judge who presided over her divorce.
Oh, my gosh.
It's hard to fathom the pressure she must be been under.
It's both heartbreaking and infuriating to hear. She was trying to make a difference for her community and the world, and she faced this kind of backlash.
Right.
It makes you wonder how anyone could keep going in the face of such adversity.
It really does speak to her strength and determination.
Yeah.
Remember, divorce carried a massive social stigma at that time.
Yeah.
And she was being publicly vilified.
Right.
It would have been much easier to choose a quiet life.
Yeah.
To step back from the spotlight.
Right.
But Wangari Maathai wasn't one to back down.
Okay, I'm hooped. What happens next?
Right.
How does this all unfold?
Well,
I think we need to take a pause here and pick up this incredible story of the fight for Uhu Park in part 2 of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
So we left off with Wangari Maathai facing this huge decision to speak out against the Uhu Park project.
Right.
Or to remain silent.
Yeah.
Talk about a David and Goliath situation.
It really is.
Knowing her character, I'm guessing she didn't shy away from a challenge.
You're right. She definitely didn't.
So what did she do?
Maathai was strategic in her approach.
Okay.
At first, she wrote letters to government officials, trying to work within the existing system.
Okay.
But when those letters were ignored, she decided to go public.
Okay.
She used media outlets to spread her message.
Right.
And called on the Kenyan people to raise their voices, too.
That public approach must have ruffled some feathers.
Oh, yeah.
Within the government, especially with President Moi.
Absolutely. The backlash was immediate and harsh.
What did he do?
President Moi resorted to personal attacks.
Okay.
Labeling her a madwoman
Oh, wow.
and accusing her of being a puppet
Wow.
for foreign powers.
That's awful.
It was a classic tactic to discredit her and damage her credibility.
Instead of engaging with the environmental concerns she raised.
Right.
Did anyone in the government even attempt to address the issues she brought up?
Not really.
What did they do?
Members of parliament piled on, dismissing Maathai as a frustrated divorcee
Oh, my God.
and questioning her expertise.
That's terrible.
There were even threats of violence, including the horrific mention of female genital mutilation.
Oh, that's just awful.
They also targeted the Greenbelt movement, calling it a fake organization and accusing her of financial mismanagement.
It was an all-out smear campaign.
It really was.
So instead of facing the problem of environmental destruction head-on,
right.
they chose to attack her character.
Yeah.
And try to silence her. That really highlights the challenges
it does.
Women face when they dare to challenge the status quo.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the public's response to all of this?
Well, it's interesting. The more the government tried to discredit Maathai, the more the public rallied behind her.
Oh, wow.
People were tired of government corruption and a system that refused to listen to their concern.
Right.
They saw their own fight for a better future reflected in Maathai's struggle.
It's amazing how one person's courage can inspire a whole movement.
It's incredible.
It speaks to the potential of grassroots movements to really make a change.
Exactly.
Did this groundswell of support have any tangible effect?
Well, it started having a real impact.
Okay.
Even some of the foreign investors initially backing the skyscraper project started to waver.
Oh, wow, really?
They realized that being associated with such a controversial project could seriously damage their reputations.
So what happened next?
Okay.
Did they actually manage to stop the construction?
Well, it looked pretty bleak at first.
Really?
Construction began at the site in November of 1989.
Oh, no, that must have been disheartening.
Yeah.
What did Maathai do?
This is where the story takes a truly inspiring turn.
Okay.
Maathai and the Greenbelt movement didn't give up. They continued raising awareness, organizing protests, and even took the fight to court.
Wow.
Keep in mind, this was during a time when Kenya was essentially a one-party state.
Right.
Speaking out against the government was incredibly risky.
She was putting herself in real danger, potentially risking her freedom and even her life, all to save a park.
It's true.
That's true courage and dedication.
It really is.
And in the end, it paid off.
It did.
What happened?
Just a few months later, in January of 1990, the government announced that they were scaling back the project.
Okay, so they didn't completely abandon it.
Not yet. But then, in February of 1992, they made another announcement.
I'm on the edge of my seat here. What happened?
The government completely abandoned the project.
They did.
Uhuru Park was saved.
What a victory.
It was a monumental win.
I bet that was an incredible moment.
It was.
For Maathai and everyone who fought alongside her.
It proved that even when facing seemingly insurmountable odds, a small group of dedicated individuals can achieve extraordinary things.
It's a testament to the power of collective action.
It really is.
I'm so inspired by this story.
Me too.
What happened after that?
Well,
did Maathai continue her activism?
Oh, absolutely.
I have a feeling there's more to tell.
This was just one chapter in her remarkable life.
Okay.
She went on to achieve even greater global recognition for her work.
This is where the Nobel Peace Prize comes in, right?
You got it.
It's an incredible achievement and one she truly deserved.
Yeah.
But what specifically did the committee recognize her for?
In 2004, Wangari Maathai became the first African woman to receive the Nobel Peace Prize.
That's amazing.
It wasn't just about her environmental work.
Right.
The committee recognized her contribution to sustainable development, democracy, and peace.
Wow.
They highlighted her approach,
which
was all about recognizing the interconnectedness of human rights, especially women's rights, with environmental protection.
It's so powerful that the Nobel Committee acknowledged the vital link between these issues.
I agree.
It's not just about the environment. It's about people justice and creating a world where everyone has the right to a healthy and thriving planet.
Precisely.
And while it was a tremendous personal honor for Maathai, she saw it as a recognition of everyone who worked alongside her, especially the women of the Greenbelt movement. During her acceptance speech, she said, "Today, we are faced with a challenge that calls for a shift in our thinking so that humanity stops threatening its life support system. We are called to assist the Earth to heal her wounds, and in the process, heal our own."
Powerful words.
Those are truly powerful words. It's a call to action for all of us.
It is.
Did her work continue after receiving the Nobel Peace Prize?
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to imagine topping that kind of recognition.
It might be hard to top,
Yeah.
but she definitely didn't slow down.
What did she do?
She served in the Kenyan parliament,
Okay.
where she continued to champion environmental causes
Right.
and fight for social justice.
She never stopped fighting.
Nope. And she also continued leading the Greenbelt movement, which by then had planted millions of trees across Africa.
Millions of trees.
Millions.
That's incredible.
It is.
Her legacy will quite literally live on for generations to come.
Yeah.
It all started with her courage to stand up for what she believed in.
Right.
Even when it meant putting everything on the line.
It's a powerful testament to the impact one person can have.
It really is.
It really makes you think about what's possible.
Yeah.
When we all find the courage to fight for what we believe in.
This deep dive has been truly eye-opening. There's so much to reflect on.
Mm-hmm.
What are your final thoughts on Maathai's story?
Okay.
What stands out to you the most? It truly is a remarkable legacy, and it makes you wonder, what could be possible if we all tapped into that kind of courage to stand up for what we believe in?
Exactly.
What lessons can we take from Wangari Maathai's story and apply to our own lives?
One of the biggest takeaways, I think, is the importance of connecting those seemingly local issues to larger global themes. Maathai wasn't just fighting for a park. She was fighting for environmental justice, women's rights, and a sustainable future for Kenya and the world.
She understood that these issues are all interconnected. It's not just about the environment. It's about people justice and creating a world where everyone has the right to a healthy and thriving planet.
And she didn't just fight for change.
Right.
She empowered others to join the movement. She gave people a voice and showed them that they could be a part of something larger than themselves.
That idea of empowerment really resonates with me.
Yeah.
She recognized the strength in collective action and inspired others to take ownership of their future.
She did. She really did. She understood that lasting change happens from the ground up. When people unite to demand a better future, it's about building movements, not waiting for someone else to come along and fix things.
Right.
We all have a role to play in creating the world we want to live in.
This deep dive has been so inspiring and thought-provoking.
It has.
It's shown us that change is possible, even against overwhelming odds.
Absolutely.
Wangari Maathai's story reminds us that each of us has the power to make a difference.
I completely agree. And I hope her story encourages us to find those opportunities in our own lives, to plant our own seeds of change, no matter how small they may seem.
Right.
Every action, every voice can contribute to a better future.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through Wangari Maathai's life and work.
It's been a pleasure.
To you, our listener, we hope this deep dive has left you with a sense of wonder, a desire to take action, and a belief that even in the face of challenges, a brighter future is possible.
Absolutely.